Welcome to Idea Tennis, where we challenge ideas, elevate thinking, and serve up conversation that make you question everything.
Your future is too valuable to be held hostage by your past circle. The truth is, you only need one person to believe in you. And that person really is you. You only need you to believe in yourself, to be able to have the courage to push past the fear.
Sometimes you gotta go away from the pack. The pack is behind you, but you gotta go ahead of the pack. Jess, you know what I'm gonna do today?
What are you going to do today, Asher?
I am gonna put you in an uncomfortable spot that you're comfortable in. And that spot is I gotta bring out your therapist skills. I know you're not a therapist, Jess. I know you're not a therapist, but sometimes you should be in that profession. So we're gonna talk about some social issues today, if you're okay with that. I think social issues are always present in our life, in our decision making process, growth. So we want to focus on social issues when it comes to our growth. And I'm a firm believer in that people often sabotage their growth due to social reason because the people closest to them would be uncomfortable with their transformation. And oftentimes, our transformation make other people uncomfortable. Now, I know you have a lot of folks in your family, in your friend circle, so forth and so on. But do you remember when you started growing in a certain way, started transforming? How difficult was it for you, like, to grow out of your current social circle or your circle at the time? Talk to us about that.
I'm just going to let everyone know that I'm going to love this conversation before it even started. Partly because social issues impact our growth, both personal growth as well as business growth, professional growth, our goals, our aspirations. The people that we surround ourselves with on a daily basis really have an impact, not only on who we are, what we think, but also who and what we become and do. When we're
Mm-hmm.
focused in on growth, you need to be surrounded with other people that want more.
Mm-hmm.
When you are surrounded by people that are miserably content, that are okay with enough, that'll be your life for the rest of your life. So, how do you change that? The question really is, when we talked about rebuilding the tribe,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want your tribe to look like? Who do you want in your tribe? And where are you willing to push yourself to past the boundaries of comfort to go out and not only attract those new individuals, but to actively go out and find them?
So here's my take on that too, because when you start building something, first thing you do, you want to build a comfortable place for your family, right? So build a comfortable place. But then here goes Asher. He built a place of comfort, but now he wants to change it. He wants to go somewhere else. No, we gotta go through discomfort again. And oftentimes there's a resistance in your social circle because they're like, wait a minute, you're trying to take us to a place where it doesn't feel comfortable. We're in a place of comfort, but I want to grow. I don't want my family to grow, my friends to grow, my business to grow. But to go to that new place requires a different kind of mindset. And sometimes people don't want to do that because they're, I would say, afraid of the discomfort. So I'm like presently in my life, so I'm thinking about the same way because I'm trying to get to another level, but then I love the people that are around me, right? And because I love the people that are around me, I don't want to put them into more discomfort, but well, we need to grow, right? We need to go somewhere else. So then how do you navigate? You're a little older than me. I know you've seen it, and I know how it is for you and your family, or you and your friend circle, or your business circle. But to make that move, I know a lot of people are going through the same thing. To make that move to get to the next level, how do you get your team to grow with you? Like that's what I'm struggling with too.
Your future is too valuable to be held hostage by your past circle. You
Mm,
need to be able to rebuild a tribe almost as an act of personal evolution and not betrayal to the people that you're leaving behind. And you don't actually need to leave those people behind. I have lots of different friend circles. I have lifelong friends that we've raised our kids together. We went to church together. We don't need to speak every day, but we are our number one supporters. I don't do business with those people. I do life with those people in a different way because I also do life with the people that I do business with because I truly believe that When you are successful, success requires community. We've spoken about that before. And the right community will not only help empower and inspire you, lift you up, and even check you. They'll be able to be part of your new life in the
Mm,
sense of, if you know me, my business, at the end of the day, the way I describe it, is a lifestyle business. No matter what aspect of my professional life we're talking about, becoming an author, whether it's business coaching, whether it's my network marketing business, whether it is anything that I do, my retreats, my experiences and events, it's who I am. It's
mm-hmm,
how I'm able to take my experiences, my skill sets, my knowledge, and monetize on them. So it is my life. No matter where I go and you meet me in the street, I'm going to always say good morning, good afternoon, how are you, even to a stranger. Why? Because you never know who that person is. You never know unless you say hello, you smile, whether you're making a difference for them on a personal level or they respond to you on a business level. But unless you do, you won't ever know. And so it's not so much focusing on who you're leaving behind,
mm,
but the different communities that you have within your life, they all have different value to them. I mean, your family,
mm-hmm.
Asher, you come from a big family. Most people would be like, you don't need any more people. You got all the people. You got all the people. You don't need, and everyone's so diverse, like in their professions and in their personalities. Like, you don't need more people. Why do you need more people, Asher?
Mm. Well, here's the thing, and it has to do with family too a lot. Because you know what, I remember when I was even moving. I'm trying to think back when I was elevating, growing in different areas. You know, I had to step away from some of my brothers too because we was thinking differently. But then, after a while, you might feel like you left them behind too. I remember this too, right? I'm gonna take it way back. Something that kind of plays on me before we talk about the current situation. But I remember when I first came to the United States and I joined the military, my other brother, the one that follows me, like like I felt like I was the one that keeps him out of trouble. But when I joined the military, I was no longer there, and he got into a lot of trouble. And I felt for a while like, man, if I was there, I probably kept him out of trouble. But over time, we always get in trouble together. So I'm talking about us because he has a little temper. Like he has my mom temperament. My mom temperament is more pushy. My dad temperament is pretty more laid back. So I got my dad temperament, but he got my mom temperament. But he got in a lot of trouble. Sometimes I felt like maybe if I was around during that time, I would have helped him stay out of trouble. But I grew away from that. But now currently in my life, I'm seeing the same thing. Like there's people around that I really want to help, but also I'm growing so fast. And then I know other people might feel the same way too. Like you want them to come with you along the way, but they're not willing to do the things you're learning, things you're learning. And then you feel like you gotta stunt your growth, you gotta hold back, you gotta sabotage your growth because you want to make sure that you're hanging to that place of comfort that you all built initially. Because what we all do, we build a place so we can sit there and be comfortable. But then that space become like your prison now. Then you gotta leave it and go to another place that feel like it's stretching you and growing you. And that's a struggle right now. So I'm looking for advice from my business coach here, my sister that has some therapist skill.
Yeah, that's the release and rise moment.
Mm,
Someone in your life that you have to let go of in order to grow. What does that cost you? And what did it unlock within you? For you, for your brother, as the example, you had to realize you are not your brother's keeper. We
mm,
all have the ability to make choices. The choices determine the outcomes. There's always consequences, and consequences don't always have to be negative. There could be good consequences as a result of good decisions. But when we're faced with those decisions of how do we release and rise, but don't forget who we were, don't forget the people, especially when we talk about family.
mm-hmm,
You can't get rid of your family, or you have lifelong friends that you grew up with, but you're just not on the same path of perhaps purpose, or the mindset is different. You don't not love on them, but you go out and you find people that are where you are or want
Mm,
to be in life. So I love on my life friends, my soul sisters, my lifers, the people that no matter the time or day, if I'm in need of a friend, I could pick up the phone and call them and they'll be there. I don't speak to them about my business though. So it's
mm,
almost as if it's two different, not lives, but two different scenarios where, okay, I don't muddle the water.
mm-hmm,
Now, the flip side to that, my community, like my Hustle with Heart community, the community that I've handpicked of people that I want to not only inspire, but be inspired from, I muddle the water a little because I don't want them to think that I'm just interested in them for business purposes because I'm not. I truly believe that the most powerful, successful teams are because they're invested in each other as human beings. I want to make sure someone is okay physically, emotionally. I want to be able to have conversations with them about their families, their lives, and not always about business because then the investment in the community pays off exponentially.
mm. You got me thinking a little bit though. I was thinking about oftentimes the safety is in the place we're coming from, the family that we have, right? But then you go into a new place, you don't know those people, but those people would be your culture, they will consult with you, but they are not familiar with you. So then how do you get them to care for you, right? That's the scary part. I'm leaving the people that I know care for me, but I'm going to a community that I'm aspire to be like, but how do I know they care for me like my other people care for me? So you're stuck in the middle and you're figuring, okay, if I leave these people, then who is gonna care for me? Now I'm in limbo. I gotta trust that this the where I'm going now, these people are gonna care for me, the way my current surrounding care for me. And that's a struggle, by the way. That's a real struggle. What are your thoughts?
It leads to the question of why is belonging more powerful than just being included?
Mm,
Why does belonging for some people feel like worth, feel like validation? The truth is, you only need one person to believe in you. And that person really is you. You only need you to believe in yourself, to be able to have the courage to push past the fear, to be able to realize that what I put out into the universe, I will receive back. That it's not about, you know, I wish this community existed. So, for those of you who've been following us, Asher and I recently released Memoirs to Millions. And
mm-hmm,
one of the stories that I shared in that book was the power of belonging and how I reinvented myself against all odds in some ways and created a community that have become my tribe, the people that I depend on, the people that I rely on. And when we talk about depend and rely, aren't they the same? No. Depend, meaning that I don't have to ask them in order to be able to know that if I need someone to
show up.
plug in, to show up, they're
Mm-hmm,
there.
mm-hmm,
Rely on them is they're the people that hold me up.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes I have to ask why because people look at me and consider me a strong person, and I don't easily ask for help. So for me to be able to say, I need help, and I don't think it's just me, I think it's the same for a lot of people. You need to have a feeling of safety to be able to be vulnerable to say, I need help. How can you help me? This is what my problem is. But creating that community was something I went out and did. I didn't wait for anyone to invite me to become a part of their community. I didn't wait for all the stars and the moons to align and all of a sudden, I walk into this room of fabulous people. No. And I will say to you, because I'm super transparent, I've invited people into the community that I've asked them to leave because after they've been in the community, I realized they were not my people. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't share the same mindset. They didn't have the same energy. I'm an energy girl. Like I walk into a room and I can feel someone's energy, and is it draining me or is it making me feel alive? If your energy is not making me feel alive, I don't know if I want to be in the same room with you for too long. And so being able to align with purpose and not just popularity is super important when we talk about belonging and creating community.
You said something earlier that the person you gotta believe in you, it's me or you, right? I just thought about you. I realize the courage it takes now, um, to like go after something when it's just you by yourself. We talk about the lone wolf, but I'm thinking about the lead wolf, like the wolf that's leading the pack. Sometimes you gotta go away from the pack. The pack is behind you, but you gotta go ahead of the pack. And I realize it takes a lot of courage because now when I gotta grow, and for me to grow, I gotta get away from the family, from the circle a bit. I like be that lead wolf out front. I'm doing it. And then once I figure out the pathway, I'm like, okay, team, all right, well, let's go this way. And I realize when you were saying the first person, you gotta believe in you. Sometimes that person is me, it's you, right? And that makes sense now because oftentimes that's what we're afraid of. Like, yeah, I'm be honest, yeah, not say honest, but I'm being transparent here. Like you said, I'm a little scared a little bit to be the lone wolf, the lead wolf, because I love my team, I love my family. But then I realize I gotta go out there on my own independently to figure this thing out and then bring them back. And it's the fear comes back to like I don't want to grow leave them, but then I still gotta grow. Yeah.
So you're not leaving them. I'm reminding you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're in a different segment, compartment, whatever you want to call them. They are a different part or a different community in your life. They are still your people. Now, sometimes there are toxic people that we must get rid of
Mm-hmm.
that just listen. All they do is think negative. They're constantly depressed. They're not willing to get help. They don't want to be better, do better. All they do is go from one mess to another mess and blame everybody except themselves. And those are the people we don't need to be around, right? Those are the people that we outgrow. Those are the people that there is very limited or little space for us to share the same energy with. You could still love them, but from afar, from a distance. When you say about how do you push to be that lone wolf, I think what you aren't looking at is initially you're the lone wolf, but you're not the lone wolf forever because wolves run in packs.
Mm-hmm.
But you need someone out front to lead the pack. When we're talking about community, and I'll use my Hustle with Heart community as an example, it's a diverse group of people, different professional backgrounds, ethnicities, levels of experience, but they all show up. And they don't show up for me, but they show up for themselves in the community. But they needed to see me be consistent. They needed to see me not only hold them accountable, but hold myself accountable. They needed to see me be a visionary. They needed to see me not only willing to talk the talk, but walk the walk alongside them. And so that attracted people to me. People saying, how can I work with you?
Mm-hmm.
I love the way you train. I love the way you speak. I love just to hear you around other people. How could I be a part of that? But it started with me. Just the way you have created this community and it started with you. You showed people what was possible.
Mm. Even though that's obvious, it's also very scary. Because even the lead wolf or the lone wolf wants to be with the pack too sometimes, and sometimes it gets very draining just to be the lead wolf or the lone wolf out there, and you feel like, man, I should be back with the pack, but I gotta grow. And the growth sometimes it takes a lot of energy by yourself, So I've just been pondering that a bit lately, and it's been like, oh man, Like when I'm gonna stop growing, Jess. But I feel like there's
When
no
you
ending.
die, Asher, when you die at 86, that's when.
When I'm gonna stop growing, Jess. But even though sometimes it excites me, sometimes it scares me, sometimes it gets like, like I said, the lonely piece of it piece. Sometimes like, man, I'm battling this thing. But then the folks that needs to be part of it don't understand it. So therefore you gotta keep going until you simplify it enough for them to help you multiply it. And it's a difficult road.
But I think that goes to show you sometimes the people you think are your people
Mm-hmm.
may not be your tribe. It doesn't mean that they're not a part of what you're doing, they're just not your core tribe. I also think that when we talk about the person in the front, the lone wolf, the leader, the, captain of the ship, that there are other captains of other ships. There are other,
Mm-hmm.
wolves leading the pack. Those also become your people. Those also become your sounding boards. Those also become your accountability besties. Those are also the people that you reach out to and have you experienced this, or this is where I am, or sometimes those people don't have to be in the same lane as you in the sense of industry or the work that they do, but they are parallel because they're leading the pack. They're the captain of the ship. They're flying the plane. And so being able to realize that the different communities we have, we tap into for different reasons. There's a group of, I call them kind of my board of directors that I reach out to. Those are the people that I share my crazy ideas with, or I tell them what I'm doing, or I'll ask them for advice, or I'll just vent to them just to get it out because I don't want it inside of me anymore. Those are the people that because this happens to everyone, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much success you have, you feel a sense of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
We all come to those moments, but having that safety net of people in your tribe that are parallel to you and can relate to you and can help you see past the desperation and get back on to the path of purpose, help you realign, help you go from being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think that that is when we're talking about new people, you need to be uncomfortable. You need to put yourself out there. How do you know if the people are your people if you don't put yourself out there? If you don't enter new rooms, if you don't go to new places, and they don't have to be physical, they could be virtual, but how do you know unless you put yourself out there?
Here's something that I think a lot of people probably experiencing too. Like, I mean, I've been doing a lot of work lately on this too. And maybe this is probably what's causing this emotional roller coaster a little bit with me. But when you start reaching out, making the cold calls, the cold texts. I've been playing on LinkedIn lately, just really trying to find my client base, right? So then you go to the process of reaching out to people, and then like the feedback is not coming back the way it's supposed to come back. But the whole process of going through like finding your people, finding your client base, like creating demand, so forth and so on. And that sometimes hit a little bit the emotional space where like, man, I'm out here out front, you know, stepping through this snow, building this trail for the pack to come through. But then you run into things that are just not comfortable, especially the feedback and the response from people like, yo, So then how do you grow through that piece of it where the no's, we're talking about the no's right now, right? The ignoring, like no feedback, those things. Or then I'm not interested. How do you coach through that piece? Talk to
Okay, so I have a lot to say about that one
me.
because I am notorious. I don't have enough time, I don't have enough space, and I don't have energy to waste in all the DMs I get. I get phone calls, I get emails from randoms with random things that I did not solicit. Most of the time, I'm incredibly skeptical that I think it's a scheme or a scam. Now, when we're talking about a professional platform like LinkedIn, I'm going to say I'll give it 50-50 that it's a scheme or a scam versus on social media or emails or phone calls where I'm like 95% that it's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I'm going to go back to you with, and we actually have spoken about this on previous episodes, you need to build a relationship, Asher. And I understand that you right now are of the, we're going to call it cold calling stage and phase of throwing out the fishing line and seeing who hooks on it. That's one way of building business. And it doesn't mean that you should stop doing that because you never know who's going to hook onto the line just by the cold calling, or in this case, messaging. But then at the same time, you also need to find people that you're not going to just pitch to directly. You are going to build relationship with eventually having enough information about that person that they open the door based on your conversation and you get to enter because they've invited you in.
Mm-hmm.
Versus you knocking the door, knocking the door, knocking the door, knocking the door, and they are not answering. They're like, no, no one's home. But you hear them there. You know they're there. But they're
Mm-hmm.
saying no one's home. It doesn't mean that what you have is not worth their time. It just means they haven't invited you in. They haven't invited you in. It could be for lots of different reasons. They're not 100% sure of what it is that you're bringing to them. They're not 100% sure of what's in it for me? How can they benefit from it? They never thought about what you're offering before. It's a totally new concept to them. And so, no one's home is the sign on the door. And some people have enough respect to message you back and say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. And then there's other people who just disrespectful and just ghost you, right? They don't respond. You see it says red. You're like, what's wrong with this person, right? So you need to figure out, how do you find balance between the two? How do you take the platform, take your skill set, unapologetically go for it, knowing that you're going to get no's? Going in with that mindset. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you don't have the mindset of, I'm going to find my people here. Absolutely. I'm going to find my clients. I'm going to find my people. I'm going to find the people that are going to lead me to other people. But before I find those people, I'm going to go through a lot of no's. I'm going to get ghosted a lot. But while I'm getting no's and getting ghosted, I'm also taking, the fabulous five, that something about those five people have hit home with me, and I'm going to build relationship with them before I pitch to them. I'm going to wait for them to open the door and invite me in before I make an offer.
Here's the thing. As much as we know this, but
Mhm.
when you're doing it and you're experiencing it, the energy is always a thing that you gotta come back and think about and feel about and have a conversation about, because it affects you. Like, as much as I'm okay with rejection, but still at the end of the day, it still affects. It still affects. And that's the reason why I was saying, when you're being the lone wolf or the lead wolf and you get rejected and it hits you, like, I need to talk to somebody, right? Because it affects you. And like,
Yes.
okay, I go back to my tribe, we talk, but then my tribe don't understand my thinking. So then like I said earlier, I gotta go find parallel tribes, somebody that's leading their own ship, that running their own pack, and see, hey man, this is what I'm going through it too, bro. But you just gotta work to the energy. So I get what you're saying. And it makes sense. Like, but every now and then we need reminding more than we need educating sometimes. And right now, the reminder is I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
I mean, listen, it happens to the best of us. We plan, and God has better, bigger, more plans for us. But the path to get there isn't, on a paved road.
It's not. Yeah, I
It's
gotta make
not
I
on
gotta
a
make the way.
paved
You're right.
road.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on a paved road. And so you focus in on, and I know it's hard. It happens to all of us, but it is the one thing that keeps me, I say, anchored, is not so much about when I get rejection and I get no, or things don't work out as planned. The timeline is out the window because all the things have happened and everything's late and off. I don't focus in on the struggle. I focus in on the result. I focus in on there are people waiting for me to arrive, people who have prayed for my tribe, my services, my thing, and are waiting for me to arrive. People that I will have impact and profound impact at that are waiting for me to arrive. So if I get stuck in my feelings and in my head of no, 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 I'm thinking about me and
Mm.
my rejection and not staying focused on the people who are waiting for me to arrive, the people I haven't met yet, the people that we're going to change our lives together. So is it easy? Absolutely not. Can you feel defeated every once in a while? Absolutely. But for a few seconds, Asher, for a minute at the most, you don't live in that space. You acknowledge it because it's super important to acknowledge that feeling. And then you're like, all right, this is just another challenge, another obstacle that I'm going to overcome. I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to figure out what I'm doing that's not working. I'm going to tweak along the way to see how I can change the no to a yes. If maybe I change what the pitch is, or I'm changing my strategy or my approach.
I'm changing the knock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock 3 times. Pop, pop, pop. I'm saying.
Yeah, like my weekly email that says opportunities knocking. Are you going to open the door? I mean, you know, but I will also say this. It's extremely important to also have the courage to ask people for feedback. So it can be people that eventually you become friendly with or part of your tribe, or like ask them, what do you think when you get my emails or my messages? What could I do to solicit a better response? Are they too long? Do they have too many different themes in them? Do I send too many? Get feedback from people. Do I not send enough? I think that that's a crucial part of the right tribe, having that confidence of knowing that, it's a safe space for me to grow. And the only way I can grow is to know better. And the only way I can know better is to have somebody show me.
Mm. Well, thank you for being a therapist today. I know you're not one, but
I'll send you my bill. I'll send you my bill.
I know you're not one, but I think you have many skills, my friend. But this week's been pretty good, by the way. I've been working some new angles on different things. Got some new tech I'm playing with to figure out some stuff. So it's been an exciting week. I know we haven't catch up in a while because you've been busy. You went to hey, how was your we're gonna go off topic if you guys don't mind. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go off topic a little bit. How was your event this last weekend?
It was good. So I led a vision board workshop with my friend and colleague Rhonda. The vision board workshop was incredible. The feedback that I got from the participants, I'm always humbled and I never know how to react other than to say thank you. Like someone said, it was life-changing for them, but really helping people realize what vision is. And it's not just about setting goals. And then even when we talk about goals, it's beyond the like professional or business goals, but what do we want the vision of our life to reflect about us and who we are? And
Mm.
I end every vision board workshop that I do with the same series of questions that I think would actually be a great topic for idea tennis. So I'm not going to share the questions while we're recording, but the question is essentially to get people to think different.
Mm-hmm.
And so seeing and hearing people's response was just a blessing to see that they were inspired. Now let's see what they go and do with it. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Had a great time.
Vision boarding. Actually, that does trigger something for me too. I'm gonna ask you because I was even thinking about, I was planning on the question of what makes a person unique because I'm doing a lot of writing with other projects I'm working on. and the idea of what makes you unique. And first, I was thinking about, what makes you unique is your story, like your history. But then digging a little deeper, I would listen to my distant coach, Dan Sullivan, and he was breaking down like what makes you unique is not your story, but your aspiration, like the dream, the vision, stuff you're going for. That's what makes you unique. That's what people want to be part of.
Yes.
Now, your past could be unique only if there's treasure there. Like you can show them treasure in your past. They were like, I want to go. Let just show me some treasure in your past. I want to go to your past. I want to go check that out. But if there's no treasure there, I'm not interested. I want to go there. So because there's nothing unique about your past, the treasure is not there. But if there's treasure in the past or in the future, I want to go there. So when you was talking about vision, I'm sure when those folks who recognize like this is the vision I have, this is my aspirations, my dreams, my goal, looking at it, oh yeah, who wants to be part of that? Oh, I want to be part of that because I like where you're going. So I'm just thinking about that. So if I ask you, Jessica, what makes you unique? That's the question for me, right? To you right now. What do you think that makes you unique? Oh, on
That's
the
a
spot.
hard question. What makes me unique? Um, oh man, what makes me unique? I'm going to say, Asher, we know I don't like to talk about me.
But remember, it's
Uh,
not just your past, but your future,
yes,
the vision. So the
yes.
aspiration piece.
So I think what makes me unique is that I believe my purpose really has nothing to do with me. I am the vessel, the vehicle, but really more about how to help other people really be their best and do their best, not be the best, but their best. How to help people see the light in the darkness, how to help people realize that they are more than enough, they are worthy, they are loved, that there is um, there everything is possible, that and I understand everyone doesn't have, a deep rooted faith in God, but that I believe with God, we are his masterpiece. He didn't create someone to be mediocre. He didn't drop a dream of enough in our hearts. He dropped the dream of more than enough. And I think that what makes me unique is that I try every day to live my life in a way that allows other people to see that reflection of themselves and who they could become and the possibility of who they are through me and the work that I do.
Wow. Look at that answer. Look at that answer. So think about it, Jess. So now was this one of the reasons why I'm hanging out with you? Because because of that unique view on life, right? Because when you think about that same thing, anybody that's listening to this right now, it's the same thing, right? The reason why people come around you or fit in your space is because this stuff you see in them, the stuff you see in the world. So when I know that I'm around a person that's think positive, optimistic, a certain kind of way, that uniqueness I want to be part of because I like where that's going. But if you're a person that's negative and draining, and that's also unique as well, but I don't want that kind of uniqueness, right? I want to get away from that. But you're unique in your own way, in your own perspective on the future, your own perspective or your own treasure in your past. And that's a thing that people want to be part of because they know it's obvious to them. The energy is there. So I think we all got our unique signature. And I know my unique signature is that same thing here. I'm very optimistic. I always see the greatness in other people, right? I can always build on other people's dream because I see it when I hear it. I'm like, oh, I want to be part of that. I want to help you build that. And that's something that makes me unique of building on other people's dream and help them build it. So
Mhm.
then we think about that. If you're a person listening to this right now, what makes you unique? Like, what about you that makes you unique? And you gotta realize that if it's something that's really drain people, then you're very unique. But you gotta find people that love to be drained. But if you're a person that uplift people and you recognize that in yourself, then you gotta find people that are looking for upliftment. And as along we talked about me cold calling and cold reaching out, and it's to get the message out there that I'm looking for people that are looking for the same kind of uniqueness I'm providing. So I can be part of that. So congratulations for being unique, my friend, and
Thank
expressing it
you.
very well. Yeah.
Thank you. I love, and that's one of the things that I love so much about our friendship, idea tennis, is that you put me on the spot. You get me to do the things that I'm not necessarily comfortable doing, but I am comfortable being uncomfortable.
You're not comfortable doing it on camera.
Yeah.
Let's get that right.
Yes, I'm not comfortable doing it on camera, is right. All right, Asher, we need to wrap up. Closing words.
Mm.
What's your biggest takeaway from today's conversation?
My biggest takeaway was the reminding piece about um that I gotta go out there and find people that are also lone wolf or lead wolf that are, you know, breaking trail, that are setting trend, right? That are trailblazing and figure out, hey man, how do you feel about your trailblazing? And do you feel the same way sometime? Like I need somebody to talk to about me breaking all these trails all the time. But I recognize I gotta find more people like that. I mean, I have some people like that, but sometimes I gotta connect with them and talk. And shit, like, hey, this is what I'm feeling right now. Even though I know the answer, but I just need, some reminding sometimes. And that was good to hear. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, we all do. I'm going to close with this for the audience to really focus and think about who is it that they're becoming? Who do they
Mm,
need to let go of? Who are they being called to lead? Rebuilding the tribe isn't just about healing loneliness, it's about becoming the light in the dark, the lighthouse for someone who's still in the storm. It's being able to have the strength to start over. And that
mm,
looks and feels different for many people, but you need to have more faith than fear. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable while you are becoming. And ultimately, your tribe becomes your foundation. I'm so
mm.
grateful for my tribe, for all the people that are waiting for me to arrive, to be a part of my tribe also. And I'm grateful for you, Asher. So, my closing words.
All righty. With that, folks, you listen to Idea Tennis, the place where we make idea works for you and for us. And with that, folks, make it an utterly fantastic day.